Welcome to Lightworkers Journey. Today, I want to talk about the healing process. A lot of us, almost all of us, go through this throughout periods of our life. And the reason why I want to talk about this topic is because when I first started awakening, I struggled with this so much. I'd ask myself, how do I heal myself? Where do I start? What does that look like? I didn't know what to do and where to start or who to talk to or where to reach out or what information I could find that would help me. And along my journey, I realized that everything I needed and all the answers I had were inside of me. Now, how often do we hear that? All the time, especially if you're searching endlessly online through self-help videos or other people's experience on their channels of what it's like to heal yourself or their experience of how they healed themselves to get to where they're at. Now, when you start becoming vividly aware of this process taking place in your life, it can be very scary. It can be very confusing. And it can be overwhelming. And I found that it really boils down to one simple truth. And that is you have to experience it. You have to experience yourself falling. You have to experience yourself shedding whatever is coming up, which means you have to sit in your junk. You have to sit in all the stuff that comes up, all the tears and the sadness and the frustration and the anger and stories and memories of things that have happened in your past or in your childhood. And some things, hell, you don't even know what they are because come to find out they're from a past life. So when you start to experience these things, you have to just sit in it. You have to feel it. You have to allow yourself to go through it so that it can be released. And most of the time, once you finish that process, you find yourself feeling a lot better and probably also exhausted. When I first started awakening, I thought I was literally losing my mind. And when I started to go through this process, things from my past, my childhood, my adolescent, early adult life, all started flooding up. And I literally thought I was losing my mind. I had shoved all of these things down deep as far as I could, probably as a survival mechanism, as most, if not all of us do. And as it started to flood up, I kept pushing it down, trying to run from it, block it. No, you're not coming back. You're not coming back. I'm not dealing with this. I can't handle this pain. I can't handle the reality of what I tried for so many years to make go away. And it was a really scary time for me. Now, I immediately started going on YouTube, looking at other channels, going to the library, reading books, trying to figure out every which way, find that guru that was going to be able to tell me what was wrong with me, how I was going to heal it. Now, I did have a lot of success with finding people that have their own experiences, but the one thing that I always found is that they said you have to heal yourself. And once you heal yourself, you will not only feel better, but you'll be able to step into who you really are. That took years for me to do. That was not something that happened overnight. Hell, it wasn't something that happened in a year. It is a process that takes place. The one thing that I found so hard about this was that I didn't know where to start. I needed someone to tell me exactly how to heal myself because I had no idea what that looked like. Eventually, I got to the point where I surrendered to the baggage that was so desperately trying to come up. And I ended up having a breakdown more than once. It's very common for us to want to hide from that or shove it down. But once you surrender to it and you let it flow, you let it come up, the better you will start feeling. So what I found is the only way to heal yourself is to acknowledge that side of you. Acknowledge the side that is hurting. Acknowledge the side of you that maybe carries shame or guilt or blame. Maybe the side of you that you don't want people to see because you were embarrassed by it. You have to allow yourself to experience these things once again, to honestly accept it and move on. Now, here's another thing that you're not going to come across in many videos or books, and that is this stuff sucks. It's not pretty. It's ugly. It's not fun. It sucks. And you are going to have to sit in it and ride through it. Acknowledge all of these things that come up. And this isn't going to happen overnight. This is going to take days. For some people, it may take months. But once you start acknowledging these sides of yourself, forgiving yourself for the shame that you carry or the guilt that you carry or things that have happened to you, and you face that, this process will start to get a little bit easier because you're going to be more knowledgeable of how to handle it. You're going to start to become seasoned in this because we are all like onions. We all have layers. And after you get through one layer, there's another one. And each layer, I have found throughout my awakening, holds more stuff. But it does get easier because you do know how to handle it better. So with all of that being said, make sure that you learn to love and appreciate these aspects of yourself that have come up for healing, because they are, after all, a part of you and has made you who you are today. And once you can learn to release these things that need healing, it only makes room for the more authentic, true part of yourself to come through. So with that being said, thanks for watching. And if you liked my video or it helped you in any way, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will talk to you all soon. Love and light.